Welcome back everyone. We're here to bring you the third and final part of our Game of the Year series. We've already covered our top 10 in parts 1 and 2, but now we have some individual awards to give out. Let's kick things off with Best Old.
I arrived pretty late to the party with Forza Horizon 4 because I didn't have an Xbox when it launched back in 2018, but it still managed to stir up some serious FOMO. One of the arguably best racing franchises set in an idyllic British playground ticked all the boxes. So it come as no surprise that I jumped straight on it as soon as I got my hands on the Series X. And due to the nature of this video, it'll also come as no surprise that it met all of those expectations. A few of us at NGB have been wrapped up in Forza fever over the last few months, and it's quite honestly the perfect showcase for arcade racing games. The open world playground that Playground has created includes incredible variety which lends perfectly to the game's style. Throw the changing seasons on top and you've got your icing on this beautifully baked cake. Forza isn't shy on content either. In fact, it almost teeters into the overwhelming with over 700 cars, multiple game modes and premium and free DLC to boot. The fact that it looks stunning and plays incredibly well, particularly on newer hardware, is the cherry on top of this Forza cake. That's admittedly a lot of references to cake, but it is Christmas. Simply put, Forza Horizon 4 may well be the best racing game ever made, and I cannot wait to see what Playground has got coming up next.
This was a tough decision because there were some absolutely stunning titles in 2020, but the best looking game fell to Spider-Man Miles Morales. It is just so pretty. The game recently got an update that allowed for 4K 60 with ray tracing, making it the best looking, smoothest next gen game around. New York has never looked so good, and Miles looks his absolute best when swinging around its skyline. Some serious work went into bringing a world like this to life, and it really shows. Miles Morales is a beautiful piece of art that Insomniac can be incredibly proud of.
Music within games is something that is sometimes overlooked, but with our pick for the Best Soundtrack Award, it's impossible to do that. We've had some fantastic music within games in 2020 that includes honourable mentions to Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. But our winner goes to the PS5 launch title, Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Not only does the game have its own original soundtrack that is ridiculously charming, but it also uses music from famous artists that includes Bruno Mars, David Bowie and Britney Spears in such a fun and unique way. The music used plays along with how parts of the stage within the game are interacted with, and in turn characters within the stage also jive to the beats of the music to create such a fun and creative way to use music in a video game. The soundtrack within Sackboy: A Big Adventure is used brilliantly, and whilst we have seen so many great pieces of music in gaming in 2020, nobody has used it quite like this.
In a year that's been dominated by generally awful things, we almost decided to skip over the biggest disappointment category in this year's awards. However, it's a bit of a staple, and boy have there been some discussions around disappointments this year. The obvious choice for many people would inevitably be Cyberpunk 2077, but the thing is, underneath all the bugs, performance issues and lawsuits, there's a solid game in there somewhere. No, this year's biggest disappointment for NGB goes to Marvel's Avengers. Possibly one of the biggest franchises on the planet, it is astonishing just how much there is to pick apart here. There's a solid enough campaign, but when its 10-hour runtime comes screeching to an abrupt halt, you're left with an underpopulated, overly monetised world with so few repetitive grindy missions that it makes the vanilla launch of the original Destiny look positively teeming with content. It feels as though there was a much bigger solo experience in here before someone in a suit came down and forced in a games as a service model, which I don't think anybody could honestly say they wanted going into it. Possibly the biggest open goal that you could have had with a franchise, and Square Enix unfortunately didn't quite hit the mark.
I'm pretty sure it's illegal for a pack-in game to be this good. What should have been a simple tech demo for Sony's PlayStation 5 ultimately turned out to be a glorious and joyful platforming adventure that would make Shigeru Miyamoto nod in approval. Both a nostalgic trip through PlayStation history and a fabulous game in its own right, ASTRO'S Playroom is easily the best bundled game since Wii Sports. What more can we say about this? Every PS5 owner has this on their system straight out of the box. Just go and play it already and enjoy the gorgeous, colourful world that exists inside your new console.
With the recent release of the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles, it's an exciting time to be a gamer. With these more powerful pieces of hardware, the potential for what's coming next in gaming is extremely exciting. Our most anticipated game here at NGB Towers is none other than Project 007, which is being developed by IO Interactive, famous for the extremely popular Hitman series. Whilst we don't know a lot about the game at present, apart from the fact that you play as James Bond and it's an origin story, the fact that it's being developed by IO makes us ridiculously excited. If someone would have asked me who I think would be the best dev studio to make a Bond game, IO Interactive would have been top of the list. They've nailed the movie-esque look of the Hitman titles, so them having the Bond license makes us very excited indeed.
And that is a wrap on our 2020 Game of the Year series. We hope you've enjoyed the games that we've selected, and here is to 2021 being an even better year for gaming. Don't forget to like and subscribe to NGB, and we'll catch you next time.